Hello everyone, and welcome back to another segment of Collections Corner. My name is Andrew Outten, and I'm the Historical Programs Manager for the American Revolution Institute of the Society of the Cincinnati. On February 23, 1778, General George Washington welcomed Friedrich Wilhelm Steuben of Prussia to the American winter encampment at Valley Forge. Throughout his service in the American Revolution, Steuben was instrumental in transforming the Continental Army into a disciplined and professional fighting force. To commemorate the 245th anniversary of his arrival at Valley Forge, this month's edition of Collections Corner examines a first edition of one of the most iconic publications of the Revolutionary War, Steuben's Regulations for the Order and Discipline of the Troops of the United States from our library collections. Initially recommended to General Washington by Benjamin Franklin as a lieutenant general in the King of Prussia's service, Steuben arrived in America on December 1, 1777. Although he had only ever achieved the rank of captain while serving as an aide-de-camp to Frederick the Great, Steuben was an expert in military training and logistics. Recognizing these important and much-desired qualities, Washington quickly petitioned Congress to commission Steuben to the post of Inspector General with the rank of Major General. From his arrival at Valley Forge to the Army's departure in June 1778, Steuben brought new order and discipline to the Continental Army through a system of progressive training that began with the School of the Soldier, consisting of training both with and without arms, which led to the School of the Regiment that taught the various units of the Army to fight as a larger cohesive force. Following the campaigning season of 1778, Washington assigned Steuben and his staff to Philadelphia to begin work on a manual of regulations for the Army. From the outset of his command in 1775, Washington recognized the need for a standardized drill manual that would bring order and consistency to the training of the Continental Army. But it was not until 1779, with the arrival of Steuben, that he possessed the abilities to produce a standard version for the Army. Upon Washington's assignment, Steuben and his staff began to draft the manual, a task that required a rigorous multi-step process. As Steuben spoke little English, he wrote each of his passages in French before they were translated and simplified in English by translators on his staff. As an additional aid to the soldiers, Steuben's text was also accompanied by illustrations that were prepared by Pierre Charles L'Enfant. Once the several drafts of the manuscript were produced, Steuben sent them to Washington for his review. Upon issuing his own corrections and additions, the Commander-in-Chief returned the final portion of the regulations to Steuben on March 11, 1779. Once Washington's corrections and additions were made, a final draft of the regulations was submitted to the Board of War, where it was approved of and forwarded on to Congress with the recommendation that it has been examined with attention by the Board and is highly approved, as being calculated to produce important advantages to the states. On March 29th, Congress passed a resolution ordering that the regulations be observed by all the troops of the United States and that all general and other officers cause the same to be executed with all possible exactness. Known as the Blue Book for its blue papered covers, the Regulations presents a standardized drill for the infantry laid out command by command. It also includes the official regulations for military conduct, from administration and courts-martial to sanitation and hygiene, and a guide to the duties and responsibilities of each officer rank in the Army. The title page of the first edition of the Regulations states that it is a Part 1, but if Steuben or Congress had plans for a companion volume, none was ever published. From 1781 through the war's end in 1783, 5 additional editions of the Regulations were published. Recognized as a landmark publication of the Revolutionary War, Steuben's Regulations for the Order and Discipline of the Troops of the United States remain the official manual of the United States Army, as well as state militias until the beginning of the War of 1812. You can learn more about this iconic publication on our website by clicking the link in the video description.